Hello, good morning. You know, if you watch my British expat in the Philippines channel this morning, you will know that I suppose, called out the behaviour of a particular channel, Philippine Antics, and especially Heidi herself. And time to reflect a little bit on what the first hour was of her video about homelessness. She did admit it's taken her an hour before she finally gets to the point. That's not the thought of my day, but I step back a little bit about everything that she's spoken about, everything that she's expressed her point of view on, are in a way, if you look at her and imagine for one moment that she is a man, a foreigner, and you look at George as a woman, a Filipina, the parallel can be made. And that is that all of her, or should I say, all of his, not to confuse you now, I'm giving them the opposite sex. Heidi is now male, so I refer to Heidi as him. I refer to George as her. Are you confused? Maybe. But the reality is that she is behaving like many Filipinas do. She is hiding behind tempo. She's peeved off, pissed off, and therefore making the opportunity to get in the new car and drive over to be with her parents and family. He, Heidi, is having a bitch about her, George. And in actual fact, you're learning a lot that many choose not to really get down to the nitty-gritty. Sorry, that expression can be offending to some. But in reality, everything that Heidi says is how you, as a foreigner, are probably thinking about her, George, as a Filipino, but sorry, a Filipina. Are you confused? Well, I hope not, because as much as it's a rant by a Karen, we don't need to know that she's American. Now, this is not about being American, French, Italian, English, Australian, Kiwi. It's about people in general, foreigners who come here and experience a difficulty with communicating with their Filipino, George. So Heidi, he, is expressing in a ranting way his disapproval of her, the Filipina, George. And it's interesting, really, because there aren't any other channels that really have a woman's point of view, expressing exactly what we as men experience, many of us, each day. We seem to be able to navigate it around. We can make comments like we love her too. We can say it's a tumultuous relationship, but nevertheless there's a similar thread, a pattern in what she says as to being how a Filipino will react to a foreigner, whichever sex they are. And that is the proof in George and Heidi, who I often refer to as little and large. Those that know would also recognize little and large on my clickbait thumbnail. So I'm not coming from a personal attack on Heidi. She is large, she admits she's large, and George is little compared to her. So the comparison is only that. But Little and Large are a comedy act that used to be around in the 70s. And that's the point. In a way, they're a comedy act with a message. Certainly the last few days of how not to behave online, how not to present yourself as a foreigner to the rest of the world that way. It's very easy for us who have channels to be derogatory about our partner, to infer things about their character, and to do so will get yourself into relationship troubles. Point in mind. She won't name me, I don't know why, but she's obviously talking about me. Fine. Thank you for the advertising. Just like she's thanking me for hers. Advertising, often they say good news is often, bad news is often good news in advertising world. It gets attention and that's what it's there for. We all have channels and we hope that we spread our tentacles as far as possible for more people to spend the time to listen to our experiences and our journey as a foreigner living in a different country to where you probably are sitting. But I think that if you can stand an hour of watching the latest live on Philippine Antics, the one with the orange sort of thumbnail, talking about supposedly homeless people failing here in the Philippines. The first hour is interesting commentary. If you look at Heidi as a man and you look at George as a woman, because I think you'll get to see in the rawest of sense a slagging match between a Filipina and a foreigner. From the other side, doesn't change the situation. Heidi can be a man, just like you. And George could be a woman, just like your wife. One hopes that none of you have to experience such outward displays to the world about your personal lives. But we can thank Heidi for that. Heidi puts her Karen hat on for today, and therefore I hope you enjoy watching her video after maybe listening to what I've had to say, and maybe you can see the reference that I'm referring to. The one where everything, no holds barred, she says it all, and even more. But she says it really, I suppose, from the heart, as if she's you or me. The only difference is she wears a skirt. I don't think you do, but she wears a skirt in the house. And to use Mike, M-Y-K, George in a way, is her Filipino, hides under her skirt, maybe for protection. After all, it's a safer place. If you like my video, don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Don't forget to maybe like, share and subscribe. And leave some interesting comments. Try not to be rude either to my channel or to that of Heidi and George. Bye now.